Ooh, I wonder. So like that's like the thing is always like is the only way Superman can shave by using a kryptonite razor or by like laser beaming his own beard off, right? That's like a jokey thing to talk about.
Uh-huh.
If she just like fried her own hair, would it just burn?
Can he manipulate his lasers in like a shape-shifty way?
Well, I think you
in
have
order
to shoot it off a
for them-
mirror.
Well, yeah. Like he can shoot it off a mirror, but like, are those? So, are his lasers more of a vector
I
where
don't know,
like
dude.
they just keep on going, or do they like stop at the first sign of?
Well, no, because his skin wouldn't be harmed by them, but his hair would.
But his hair would.
so
his hair's not
like if I
in his-
tried to shave with Superman's lasers, I'd probably burn a hole in my face.
Yeah.
But he would just burn his hair off. It would probably smell really bad, but it might be effective. I don't know the answer, dude. It's just a silly thing to think about. We in. What's going on?
Dude, I'm still reeling from what you just
Yeah.
said. That was fucking strange.
That's gonna be my new thing is to be like say something as weird as possible
Right before the
before we
podcast.
start to throw you off.
To put me on edge.
Yeah, just to get you in a weird place. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Chris and Kyle Show. Spoilers for Captain Marvel, the newest Marvel release. Pretty tight,
Why isn't it Captain Marvel?
because that's not the name.
But
of
that's
the
like
character.
But that's what. Obviously, that's not the name of the character. But like,
So you're trying to
there
go.
was no-
You're trying to go all the way back to the comics. Like, why didn't they call them Captain Marvel? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, because her name's Marvel, right? That's like obviously what it's inspired by.
We're gonna
right?
talk.
Like-
We're gonna talk about all that. So
Okay.
we're not gonna get into it yet. First, I'm gonna tell you a little something about the movie. So Captain Marvel, obviously, it's the newest Marvel movie. Starring Brie Larson as Captain Marvel / Carol Danvers / Veers, Samuel Jackson, Ben Mendelsohn, Jude Law, Annette Bening, Lashana Lynch, Clark Gregg, Gemma Chan, Jimon Hunsu, Lee Pace, and others. A lot of people in it. Directed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, a little wombo combo directing team. Let me see here. Yeah, they work together on, I think, all their stuff. They also wrote it with several other writers. So, yeah, that's cool. And obviously, Kevin Feige was most likely heavily involved in everything that happened, as he is with all Marvel films. So, let's talk about this first. One of the first things that you said after we walked out of the movie was that you liked it way more than you expected.
Yes.
Let's start there.
All right, so like I should just articulate on that point, right?
Yes.
Like so going into the movie, I expected it to be sort of a 50-50 movie.
A meh?
Well, yeah, a man
Not
movie.
Not 50-50 starring Seth Rogen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
No.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
no. Like it sort of being like a toss up from scene to scene as far as like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's really bad. Because there's a lot of people who are being very supportive of this movie and a lot of people that are not.
We're going to talk about that too.
Right. Now, I mean, we need to. I'm not tread lightly here, I guess, right? But the people who are being really supportive of this movie, like obviously there's a huge push because it's a female lead, right?
Yeah.
And it's
It's in the height of the Me Too era. It's a female-led superhero film, and it's the highest-grossing female-led movie of all time.
and that's great. But you also need to be objective about it and try and separate like gender from the.
But I would
role
argue with you that there are more people who blindly hate the movie because of that than people that blindly like it,
Right.
which is something that we're going to get into.
right. Yeah,
We're going to talk about sabotage.
But I expected, to be for there to be more cringeworthy moments in the movie than what actually resulted. What actually
You
came
mean
out
like
of the
when
movie.
people say fake news in a
So-
movie or something?
The number one thing that like really just like grossed me out in the trailer, which was still in the movie, was the line that she gives to Samuel Jackson to Fury when he says, "So you're from a planet of noble warriors," and she goes, "Heroes, noble warrior heroes." I hate that line. I fucking hate that line so much. I
Doesn't
think
bother
it's
me.
so incredibly cheesy. I think it's so dumb. Like
But like, you also have to
And there
think
was
about
a
it in
lot of-
context of her character. Like, she's just super sarcastic. She's just fucking with him. Like, from the trailer, you don't know that at all. Like, sure, she believes it at one point, but
Dog, I think it's just a cheesy line.
I don't even, doesn't bother me one bit. I just don't agree with you.
Okay, that's fine.
Like,
That's fine.
that line has never bothered me.
That's fine.
But yeah,
I expected a lot of that.
Okay.
And I would say, on the whole, like the worst part about all of this for me was the dialogue of Captain Marvel's character.
Okay.
What's her name?
Carol
Danvers, right? Her dialogue like kind of bothered me throughout the movie, and there was like, and it annoyed me because there was other parts where I was like, this is kind of witty. Like, I'm having fun here when she's like interacting with other characters. Like I enjoyed the stuff with her friend, and then like the friend's daughter.
Yeah, that's really
the friend's daughter, like
Lieutenant Trouble.
Lieutenant Trouble, and her talking to her mom, being like, "Hey, I think you need to set the right example for me." And like, we're gonna just like sit and watch Fresh Prince instead of you going out and doing all this cool shit. So that's why, like, when there was a lot of dialogue coming from Captain Marvel that just kind of annoyed me. It was kind of like, I was like, this is just seems really.
So you
corny to
didn't
me.
like the sarcasm of the character?
You thought that it was sarcastic?
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't get any
Yeah,
sarcasm.
I
from her.
absolutely thought that she was just really, really sarcastic. She was just fucking with everybody all the time.
I didn't.
Like, from the very beginning of the movie, she's just constantly fucking with everybody.
I didn't.
She's
get
constantly
any-
fucking with Jude Law from their training montage from the very beginning of the movie, and she never really stops doing it.
I got the.
She's constantly fucking with Nick Fury.
I got the sarcasm in certain moments, but like, I don't feel like the Noble Warrior here was like.
I don't remember the context of that scene. Like, that line meant so little to me
literally
that I don't
just-
even remember it
It
happening.
was literally just exposition of like where she came from and stuff, and like that's why they included it in the trailer. But there wasn't a lot of those moments. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
There's a lot of fun in this movie.
a ton of fun.
I thought it was a lot of fun. And we have. I think. Do we agree on the best part of this movie?
Oh, you're not talking about a scene. You're talking about the GOAT. Yo, dude, Ben Mendelsohn is so fucking good.
Fucking killer.
He's so good in
so
this
good.
movie. He's so good.
Like,
That's something I wanted to talk about. Okay, can we talk about the expectations of casting and what it does for a movie and what happens when you break them?
Right.
Casting Ben Mendelsohn as the villain of the movie was like, oh, it's super predictable, right? He's the villain. He's going to be he's evil in everything. He's evil in Star Wars. He's evil in Bloodline. He's evil in fucking Ready Player One. He's evil. He's great at being an evil guy. They, whoop. They were like, oh yeah, he's super evil. Look at him in the beginning of this movie. He's so evil. And then they were like, nah, twist it on its head.
Yeah.
I think that was brilliant. Brilliant move.
I thought the casting is brilliant. The bad guy becoming the good
No,
guy.
that's what I mean. I mean,
unhoopable.
using the casting
I agree with you.
to lean into the
I
twist.
think on the whole, like understanding like the audience's expectations for a movie, regardless of like whether it's casting, writing, whatever it is, managing those expectations is like usually where the most brilliant moves come about right now. Because
So here's where I'm gonna.
things aren't the same anymore. Like the audience is like more, I would say, smarter. Like
Much more educated about the source material and about just
not just source
just
material,
like-
but filmmaking
yeah,
in general.
yeah. It's not just Ben Mendelsohn though. I don't know how much you know about the source material. The Skrulls are fucking evil, dude. The Skrulls are bad guys. Like in the comics, there's a whole thing called the Kree Skrull War. The Skrulls are the bad guys. They went completely the other direction in this movie. They turned everything on its head, and it started with casting Ben Mendelsohn. Or actually, it started with making a movie about Skrulls versus Krees. Then they cast Ben Mendelsohn as a Skrull. And then they were like, okay, here's the thing. Forget everything you ever knew about any of those things. Which I thought was awesome. I loved it. And on top of, like, just Ben Mendelsohn doing his evil thing at points, like, his level of humor and his touching moments are so good. He's amazing. Oh, my God. Plus, he's doing a lot of it through prosthetics.
Yeah.
A lot of his acting is through prosthetics?
Yeah.
Oh, man, he's so good.
And he's someone who can achieve like fucking being menacing while also being touching.
Yeah.
Like, which is there aren't a lot of people in Hollywood that they could have cast in that role and it would have been as good. You know? Because it's such like a dynamicy that he has to play.
Yeah, you're all over the place. Like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, and just for the sheer sake of casting Ben Mendelsohn, they made that character so much better,
Exactly.
and the believability of the script so much better.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's great. He's amazing.
He's funny. He's fucking menacing. I fucking love his voice.
Yep.
Like I didn't even realize
they use his real accent. I believe his real Australian accent.
And I didn't even realize it was Ben Mendelsohn, like in the prosthetics.
That's what I said to you because I was like, I know that voice. At the beginning of the movie, I was like, I know that voice. Who is that?
But because
and
they
then when
also show him.
And then when we saw him on screen, I was like, oh, okay. He's the Skrull. Okay, that's right. I had forgotten. I was like, oh yeah, Ben Mendelsohn's the villain. And then it turns out he's not the villain.
Yeah.
Jude Law the villain.
And then, but like, then it went back to the prosthetics and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's actually him because you can hear his lisp. Like he has a pretty pronounced lisp. When he talks.
Now, okay, here's the other thing the other change of expectation sort of thing. I don't know if I just was misinformed going into the movie or if this was something that they kept secret. I thought Jude Law was playing Marvel. In the comics, Marvel is a dude who is the original Captain Marvel.
Okay.
In the comics, Marvel is a Kree warrior, noble hero warrior, that like comes down to Earth and becomes a superhero.
Noble warrior hero.
Yeah, whatever. He rolls down to Earth.
That whatever? That's how I was feeling in the theater when I watched it.
And he becomes Captain Marvel, the first Captain Marvel. He's a superhero. He's like an Avenger and stuff. And then later, Carol Danvers, I think it's like a blood infusion or something like that, and she gains Kree powers or something. I don't remember.
Okay.
And then she becomes Captain Marvel later. So they completely changed that. They changed Marvel to being a woman who was down on Earth creating alien technology and was sort of a mentor to Carol. And then the whole explosion of the Tesseract infused power core gave her powers. Very cool. Ties very well into the current Marvel MCU universe because of the importance of the Tesseract and the Infinity Stones and what's going to happen with Thanos in the new Avengers movie that comes out in like 2 months. By the way, get ready for that shit.
When did Spider-Man come out?
Probably not till...
Wait, so Spider-Man doesn't come out before?
Not till like November. No.
Endgame comes out first. Oh, obviously because...
Why would Spider-Man come out first,
No,
dog?
I had to think about that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
You want a movie about Flash Thompson?
Maybe
Being like, where'd all my friends
Maybe I
go?
do.
They're all dust?
Maybe I do want a movie about Flash
That'd
Thompson.
be remember when they used to make shorts? The Marvel movies used to make shorts?
Yeah.
That'd be a good short. Like one of like 2 or 3 of the random Peter's friends like being like, yo, where'd all of our friends go? And Martin Starr is there. And he's like, oh, not again. I lost kids on a field trip again.
I'm okay with a Spider-Man movie with just Zendaya.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Hannibal Buress.
Oh, that's way better. Give me that. Give me that. Oh my god.
I guess
as
he's
a PE teacher.
I guess he's some kind of criminal now or something. Oh god. Yo, that movie's so good. Anyway, we're talking about Captain Marvel. Yeah, so there's like a lot of what made this movie sort of above my expectations, because I don't think I was as low on expectations as you were, but I didn't think going into it that it was going to be like a top tier Marvel movie, and I'm still not sure it is. I think it's just very good, and I think just being a pseudo origin just kind of leans into like I think we've seen so many superhero origin movies throughout the years that it's just like kind of no matter how much you change the details of it, you know what I mean? It's still that similar arc.
Right.
Of being like fully embracing your power and everything. And, you know, it's just a similar arc that we've seen before. So it's a little bit harder to make it unique. I'm not saying this movie isn't unique in ways, but I think the things that make it special are the things that sort of reverse expectations and stuff like that, like Ben Mendelsohn, like changing the origin of who Captain Marvel is as a character, kind of. Those are things I really liked. And that me, as someone who loves comics and knows the source material a bit, was completely flipped on. I was like, oh, not expecting that at all.
Right. Yeah, see, I didn't know shit. So
Yeah.
we're on opposite ends of the spectrum there. Going into the movie. So you're saying that like the origin story-ness of it was kind of like that's one thing that you didn't like?
I don't want to say I didn't like it. I just think
Right.
I've seen origin stories before, and I've seen that sort of arc before.
Right.
So it's just a little less fresh. I still like it.
What other things that did you not like?
I don't like that there wasn't more Coulson. I love Phil Coulson. I feel like they teased me a little bit. But I'll also
just enough.
I'll also say this: the de-aging technology on Clark Gregg was not as brilliant as it was on Samuel L. Jackson. That shit was crazy because he's in that movie a lot, a lot, and they're making him look like he looked in the '90s. It's crazy. Props to the visual effects people for doing that's crazy. But like, I feel like when you saw Clark Gregg a little bit, you were like, I can tell they're making you look younger. But not with Samuel L. Jackson.
It's like a older woman on Botox. You know, like
kind of, yeah.
There's like an uncanny valley there where you're like, something ain't real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was a moment where Carol asked Fury, like, who is that guy? And he's like, oh, he's the new guy. He seems to have already chosen his loyalties. And I was like, why couldn't they have just made him already loyal to Fury and like give him like I wanted him to have like one like kind of like cool moment where he like did something for them instead of just being like, oh, go ahead. Well, go ahead. It's all good.
You didn't think that was a cool moment?
No, it was fine. I liked that, but I wanted like something a little bigger. That was very Coulson of him. But then when I found out he was new, I was like, no, I want more. I want a little more. But I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I love Coulson.
Right.
And I love Clark Gregg.
I've never seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so it's
every season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. gets better.
Okay.
That was actually the first time you see the Kree in the MCU is in S.H.I.E.L.D. Last season. Yeah, because they do some fucking crazy shit where they go time hopping. They get like dragged into the future and they have to rescue what's left of human race from these evil Kree overlord people, and it's really cool. Anyway, so like yeah, that was kind of weird, right? Why do not all Kree look blue?
Yeah.
Why do some just look like people? Why does Jimon Hunsu?
Why do some look like aliens?
Why does Jimon Hunsu just look like himself?
Yeah.
Why does Jude Law just look like himself?
Right.
But Gemma Chan is blue. I don't get it. They literally never explained it. They were like, they're aliens.
Maybe it's like just like a difference in like skin color.
Maybe,
you know? Like
it might be. No, that's completely.
Literally, there's variances in ethnicity even amongst the.
If they literally were just like, yeah, it's just, I'd be like, okay, cool. It's just weird that they never explained it.
Yeah.
Trying to think of the stuff I didn't really like.
I wrote CM on the top of my notes for Captain Marvel, but like I'm worried that like if I like go back and need to look at these notes again, that I'm not gonna realize what it is. Like, what if I see CM and I'm like,
Captain Mouse,
Chicken Man.
You might do that. I'm trying. Do you have more things you didn't like? I'm trying to think of things we haven't covered yet.
Okay, so this wasn't as much the movie as it was the audience.
The audience?
Okay.
You have a lot of issues with audiences, man.
Yeah, I think that your environment affects your enjoyment of a movie.
Yeah.
Also, like a big thing. So like, I don't think a lot of people talk about this, right? About not only the environment, right? Like people will talk about audience and like, oh, if someone's talking, like it ruins
obvious.
your experience. That's obvious, if someone's texting on their phone during a movie, whatever, right? But even your own feelings and shit going,
absolutely.
Like
if you go into a movie in a bad mood or something,
bad moods, If you're emotionally down, if you're tired,
what's
whatever.
the thing that you famously went into with a horrible attitude and then revisited it like a year later and you were like, oh, that's actually good?
Daredevil,
yes.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Well, like it wasn't even a horrible attitude. It was just literally, I watched the first episode and I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah. But you had like you were in some kind of weird headspace when you did it. I remember. I think what it was.
Well, I think that like shit might have been going on with work or something. Yeah. I don't know.
You were just like
frustrated.
But
I don't remember. I don't remember what
now,
was going on.
You've seen the light.
It could have been a myriad of things.
Yeah.
But going into this movie, I had fucking really bad heartburn.
Oh, that's right.
So I ate like fucking 3 chimichangas. I'm not even sure if they're chimichangas. They're some type of microwavable Mexican food.
Nuclear waste.
Yeah. I ate 3 of them while finishing up a game of 2K. I ate them like super fast. Before the movie, because like I was still like waiting on you to get home.
I got home literally 10 minutes before we had to leave to walk to the movie theater.
Yeah. But the movie theater is still like a 30-minute walk,
yeah.
right? So we're walking pretty fast after I ate these 3 chimichangas. I also I drank a lot of caffeine that day, or like a couple days leading up to that day.
What you're saying is your body is not a temple.
My stomach was mad at me. So I get to the theater, and once we sit down, I was like, holy shit. Like I thought I was just thirsty because I'd never had really bad heartburn before. I have smidgen of heartburns here and there. But I sat down and I was like, oh, I need to go get a drink. I went and got Sprite. That sugar fucked me up even worse. And it was really annoying because it was good once it went down, and like the coolness fucking made my stomach feel better. But then it just added to all the sugar and shit that was already in my stomach, and it just exacerbated it even more. So I was like, fuck, like I gotta go get water. I'm gonna go get water, and I'm gonna drink all this water. So maybe like the first 15-20 minutes of that movie, I was just fucking
dying.
And then like in the back of my head, I was thinking about like all of the fucking like infomercials that you'll see of like, like a Pepto-Bismol commercial or whatever, Alka-Seltzer, like of a guy clutching his chest because of heartburn. He's waking up in the middle of the night going clutching his chest, and I was like, I'm literally doing that right now.
Oh man. Yeah.
But yeah, and I was literally thinking about going home, because I was like, I'm not going to enjoy this movie if I go through this entire movie with this fucking heartburn. So, but I drank a bunch of water, and it made me feel a lot better. And it just slowly went away, and I was enjoying the movie more and more. So I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna tough it out. Yeah, that shit. Killer.
What about the audience did you not like? You said something about the audience, or was it just that?
Sorry, I wanted to spiel. So not only the heartburn, right, but the audience. Every time that there was sort of a low hanging nostalgia joke or a reference to
a blockbuster.
Like the Blockbuster.
The dude right next to me.
The dial-up internet.
Yep.
Fucking you could hear I don't know if it was one specific dude. It might have been the dude next to you that I was hearing. But they were just like, oh God.
Yeah. Remember when the internet sucked?
Oh jeez. Like that kind of shit.
Remember when you had to go to a store to rent your videos? Oh man.
What did you think about the cat?
I was just about to say, the audience loved the cat. Loved the cat.
It seemed too familiar. Like I've seen that joke before.
I don't know.
I don't know what.
The cat's weird in the comics, so
the cat's weird in the comics?
Cat.
So that cat exists.
They
in the
didn't
comics.
make that up for the movie.
It's a Flurbo or whatever
Goose
it's
is
called.
from the comic of a firkin.
A firkin.
Yeah.
Is it a firkin?
I don't know.
Firkin Korkmaz?
Yo, can he shoot tentacles out of his mouth?
You don't know.
Block some shots, boy, with your tentacles.
Yo, that boy is dangerous, though.
Yeah. What did I think of the cat? I think the cat was fine. I did not think the cat was as great as the world seemed to think the cat was.
Right.
It's fine.
Right.
It's a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
It worked.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was the funniest thing in the world, like some people seem to think.
Yeah.
I think that it was funnier just having Samuel Jackson just coochie coo a cat all the time than having a cat eat a bunch of people. They did the Groot move. He pulled the Groot.
What is the Groot move?
Remember when, was it Guardians 1 or 2, where he shoots his arm out and then slams dudes around the hallway? Mm-hmm. He literally did that with his tentacles. He slammed a bunch of dudes around the hallway and then ate them. I was like, oh, they're doing the Groot. But with a tentacle cat. That's fine. It was fun.
Yeah, I ain't got much else, dog.
I feel like I had something else.
Are you wearing a Critical Role hat?
Yes, I am. I just got it.
I was about to say, because I've never seen that hat
This is
before.
when I texted you the other day.
I realized, I was like, oh, that's not one of my hats.
Yeah. Hey, the shrimp hat's not yours. My beanie's not yours. Just the Nike. I wear the Nike hat. I basically have stolen it, effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got it. Oh. Jude Law.
Oh, okay.
Did you like Jude Law? That was fine, right? Is he good?
He's Jude Law.
Yeah, he was Jude Law.
Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah, I like Jude Law a lot. Like, just as an actor. Like, not, like, basically, like, the base level Jude Law, I really enjoy. I think he's always brings his A game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Did you like the, okay, here's something. I thought that Lee Pace's being in this movie was completely unnecessary. Having Ronan the Accuser, the dude that was the villain of Guardians of the Galaxy, completely unnecessary. Or not even, like, even if they just used him in the weird Star Wars hologram scenes, because there was actually a really good moment where, like, if you are someone who pays attention to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and there's a scene where Jude Law is being contacted by Ronan, and he's like, "Oh, tell me where she is. Tell me where they are. We'll go bomb them." And he's like, "No, I don't want you to do that." And then Jimon Hunsu is like about to tell him, and he's like, "No, don't tell him." And there's this, and then they like hang up, and there's just this cool little moment where like Jimon, you can like just no dialogue acting, just out of reactionary acting, like you can tell that Jimon Hunsu's character is like, I don't know if I trust you anymore, Jude Law's character, and I am loyal to Ronan, and that sort of like is something that we know down the line, whatever happens with these characters, that he's going to end up working for Ronan just because we've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, which is cool. So it was a cool little moment. So like I liked him being there in that capacity, but when they were like, "Oh, he's gonna show up to bomb Earth," it just was like it went a little too over the top for me, and
Did you feel like
it made the climax like a little bit too much. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like they didn't need to be like, we need more stakes. We need more. Like it was fine. We had a real emotional connection to the stakes because of Ben Mendelsohn, because of his performance in the character. We had a real connection to wanting them to escape and Captain Marvel to fend off her old team. That was those were perfectly fine climactic stakes. And then they made it like this weird end of the world scenario very quickly, and it ended just as quickly. And it was just really unnecessary to me.
Okay. So you believe that they brought in Ronan's character? This is his name, right? Ronan's character.
Ronan the Accuser.
Ronan the Accuser. Do you feel like they brought him in just for stakes, or do you feel like there was some type of
I think there's some member berries to it, right?
Well, maybe not member berries per se, but like
the realm.
The ancillary of the ancillary purpose of it being connected to a universe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you feel like that's what it is?
Exactly. Yeah. They were like, wait, what's our other space property? Guardians of the Galaxy. How can we make sure people know this is the same galaxy, right? You know what I mean? Like the same space, meaning outer space.
And it's also leading up to other shit too, right? Because Ronan said at the end of the movie that he was going to come back for Captain Marvel, like to use her as a weapon.
Yeah. But then like she immediately makes that null and void because she disappears for 16 years. To go help Ben Mendelsohn in the Skrulls find a home.
Ronan's still alive in the universe, right? Did he?
No, dog. He got exploded.
Oh, he did?
Remember they all grabbed the...
Oh, so he exploded in that
remember
scene? I don't remember.
Dance-Off?
Yeah, I remember the dance-off thing.
Yeah,
and I remember them all like grabbing the Tesseract or whatever.
Yeah, I'm almost positive they exploded him.
Did he die?
Maybe not, though.
I don't remember if he died.
Me neither. I don't know. But... Yeah, I don't know. And honestly, I don't know if it matters. Like, he's not... Like, they're fucking fighting Thanos. He's chump change. You know what I mean?
True. The
only reason that he was a valid enemy in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is because he had an Infinity Stone. Otherwise, like, any team, any group of Avengers characters could wipe the floor with him. So let's talk about the sort of the final thing that this leads into, Infinity War. That's fucking hype.
Well,
I love that post-credit scene. I saw Steve
wait, you mean Infinity? Oh, okay. You're talking about... Okay.
Yeah, Infinity War Part 2. Or what, Endgame. They're calling it Endgame. Sorry. Avengers Endgame. Like, the post-credit scene, I saw that bearded Steve, and I got all the feelings.
Right.
I got all the emotions. I was like, oh, man, it's going to be his last movie. Oh, man, the beard's going to be gone. Oh, so sad. Everyone's so worried. You can see they're like looking for survivors and shit. Oh, right. I'm so hype. And then she just like shows up. She got longer hair because you don't have access to a barber in space, probably. Or maybe it was a stylistic
decision. She could just
decision.
energy her hair off, right?
Ooh, I wonder. So like that's like the thing is always like is the only way Superman can shave by using a kryptonite razor or by like laser beaming his own beard off, right? That's like a jokey thing to talk about.
Uh-huh.
If she just like fried her own hair, would it just burn?
Can he manipulate his lasers in like a shape-shifty way?
Well, I think
in
you have
order
to shoot it off a
for-
mirror.
Well, yeah. Like he can shoot it off a mirror, but like, are those? So, are his lasers more of a vector,
I don't
where
know,
like
dude.
they just keep on going, or do they like stop at the first sign of?
Well, no, because his skin wouldn't be harmed by them, but his hair would.
But his hair would.
so
his hair's
wouldn't-
not
like if I
in his-
tried to shave with Superman's lasers, I'd probably burn a hole in my face.
Yeah.
But he would just burn his hair off. It would probably smell really bad, but it might be effective. I don't know the answer, dude. It's just a silly thing to think about. Does he even need to go to any of these lengths to shave his hair, his beard? Can he just use a normal razor?
Or maybe he has like tiny little muscles in his follicles that can just
Yeah.
squeeze the hair out,
Yeah.
and then basically he's just
They
boom,
just, it just
shaved.
falls out. Yeah,
I fucking wish I had that power.
that would be
dude.
pretty neat. Yeah.
I'd probably prefer that power over flight.
Nope. Fuck that. Fly everywhere.
Yeah, I was trying to go to a funny moment there, but like a funny little idea, but nah, it's just not true. I'd rather fly.
You know something I hate? I noticed this in, I think it was the newest Shazam trailer. There's like a tropey thing of, this involves a trope that you hate as well, bullying, poorly done bullying,
Right.
where two people who are nerdy are having the conversation of like, what superpower power would you want to have? And in the Shazam trailer, like the kid who is going to become Shazam is like, I think the one kid is like, would you rather fly or do something else? And he's like, why? So I could fly away from this conversation. And I'm like, dude, every fucking person has this conversation. Don't act like this is some nerdy thing. Like, one, being a nerd isn't even shitty anymore. Like, everybody is like at least a fraction nerdy. Like, 90% of the population is like, yeah, superhero movies are fucking awesome. Like, you know what I mean?
True. Do you well, I mean, that line might also be taken out of context. Maybe he's saying
we
like
haven't
really weird shit leading up to that, or he's being
Yeah,
really
maybe.
annoying.
Yeah,
or like whatever.
yeah. That's obvious just from the trailer, but it's just
Yeah.
like, come on, man. Everybody likes that conversation.
yeah.
I think, in my opinion, it's a very formative conversation about the type of person someone is.
Yeah, like someone I knew.
It can reveal a lot about the way someone thinks.
Someone I knew, when I asked them that, they said that they wish they had the power to heal people.
Yeah, see, you put that in a script. You did put that in a script. I think that's one of the best moments of that script.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. You can read it on chrismichaelstott.com. Plugging!
What a segue.
I'm a professional plugger.
That's weird.
Oh, I'm rolling with it. Okay, now let's talk
Put
about
that on a business card.
let's need things plugged. I'm a professional plugger. I'll plug anything. Okay. The final thing that we need to approach the sort of societal implication thing.
Okay.
Do you know about the attacks on the rating of the film?
There's been attacks.
Before the movie even came out, its Rotten Tomatoes score was getting destroyed
Okay.
by some segment of the internet. I
Right.
don't know who they are, but they come out in droves whenever anything they deem a threat to white males. It seems like any movie where it's like a celebration of any culture that isn't a white dude, there's a drove of internet people who go on IMDb or they go on Rotten Tomatoes and they just start killing scores, and they build bots and things so that they can sort of make themselves seem bigger than they are.
Yeah.
And they start attacking movies for their, to,
Wait, so
to lower
like,
scores.
is there?
and stuff.
So it's literally being attacked. Like, are there articles out there and shit like
I
about
could
this?
probably
Or
I don't have one up, but I know that the audit. Like, you tell me if this makes sense to you. Rotten Tomatoes, critic score 79 for Captain Marvel. Reasonable, makes sense. I think it could be higher, but sure.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty good for that movie.
Yeah, 79. It's
From the critics,
solid.
I could see it being like a 55 or a 65.
No way.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I could see that.
Audience 63.
I don't know, man. I feel
This
like that's,
seems.
I
For
literally
audience
just
score.
I literally just said 65.
That's critics. There's a
True.
audience. I would think 80s for sure.
Right.
What's a Marvel movie of similar quality to you?
I think Captain Marvel is better than Iron Man 2.
No fucking shit. Iron Man 2 is the worst Marvel movie.
Yeah. I think
It's
that,
better than the Thors, besides Thor 3, Thor 1 and 2.
No, I would say that it's the same.
No, I think it's better than them.
I enjoyed the first two. Thor movies.
Am I saying to you that I don't like them? You'll never hear those words come out of my mouth.
I think that they're of the same quality.
I think certain things raise Captain. I think Ben Mendelsohn raises it.
He is by far the best performance in either
But I think the character
Captain
and
Marvel or the first two Thor movies.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. Maybe it's just the expectations thing for me made it way better. Like it raised it above those things. Like Thor is the most basic movie you'll ever see in your life. Thor 1,
Right.
it's like the most generic version of a superhero movie.
Do you like Thor 2 more?
Thor 2 has higher highs and lower lows.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever saw Thor 2.
I saw it.
You did? Yeah. Like I think that in Thor 2,
is there a Marvel movie that I haven't seen?
I don't know. To me, the relationship in between Loki and Thor in Thor 2 is amazing. I think it's wonderful. I love their dynamic in that movie. But it's also like interspersed with stuff that it's like, I don't care about this.
Okay.
And like there's a reason Natalie Portman is no longer in the MCU, right? You know what I mean?
There is. She doesn't want to do it, right?
Well, probably, but also if they, it's like the Antonio Brown situation. If the Steelers wanted him, they just given him more money. You know what I mean? Robert Downey Jr. wanted to leave at 1.2, and they said $50 million. Okay, so like she didn't have to go anywhere, but the Thor Jane thing just never really clicked. That makes sense?
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the villain in the second one's just kind of... He's like one of Thor's biggest villains, and it's like... Like, they almost got Mads Mikkelsen to play him, and then he was like, nah, I can't. That would have been awesome. But then he came back for Doctor Strange, which was cool. Anyway, I just think it's messed up that these things... one, why can you vote for a movie before it comes out?
That's kind of whack, yeah.
How can you jump onto Rotten Tomatoes and be like,
that's whack.
minus, before the movie's even out with a bunch of bots? That's insane. Stop letting people do that. 2, stop being dicks. Just, if you don't like a movie, don't see it.
I could see this movie infuriating a lot of incels out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But they're incels.
Should we explain what that is?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so incels is like short for involuntary celibate, right? Involuntarily celibate.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But basically
That's funny.
It's a really dangerous subsect of like the neckbeard community that is just full of guys who are like
Oh my God, you're right, yeah.
attack
It's nerd gatekeepers.
Gatekeepers,
But the most aggressive of them.
but very aggressive and very misogynistic.
Yeah.
They're like guys that basically like believe that like they deserve sex.
Yeah.
And shit.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Very strange, very fucked up.
Yeah. They're like the type of person who will like. So I follow a lot of like random artists on Twitter, and sometimes you'll see this thing where, someone will draw a female character but try to make her look more realistic, like from an anime or something.
Right.
So she doesn't have fucking giant boobs and look fake. And then like dudes will hop in the mentions and they'll be like, "Oh, what? So you're saying a woman can't kick ass if she's got big honkers, man? Huh? That's what you're saying? You don't think a woman can be a badass just because she's got big boobs? So now you just draw her with little boobs? You're ruining the character, man. What are you doing?" You're ruining the character. You don't think that women can be strong if they've got big boobs. That's what I think you think. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Why are you dying on this hill?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh,
Yeah.
it's very strange.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking weirdos out there, man.
Yeah, that's true. There's weird
A lot
people.
of fucking
in the world.
weirdos.
But yeah, I think overall, very fun movie. Super enjoyable. Fun. Check it out. If you like Marvel movies, you'll obviously like it.
Right.
What?
I said right.
Oh, I thought you said what?
Right.
I thought you said why. And I was like, that seems kind of obvious.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, check it out. We really need to watch True Detective.
I have my weekend this weekend is free, so I'm mostly just going to be studying for my speech exam, which I'm hoping is really easy.
Yeah. They're like
it's just shit off the
the
book, and I'm hoping that it's just like the elements of a conversation. Like
we don't know how to do that.
What is it? Speaker, receiver, message, channel, medium,
Sure.
interference. I think is another.
Is that me? I'm the interference, right?
No, I
That's
would
my
say chimichangas are interference for sure.
Oh, okay, nice. All right, yeah. So hopefully we'll be able to do True Detective next week. Wrap up our series on the True Detective series. That was weird. We'll check out the Mahershala season and hopefully get that episode up next week. Come back Monday for our regularly scheduled programming. Normal episode. A lot of football news to talk about. I hope you're ready. NFL free agency, baby.
I'm actually excited for it. Like there's a part of me that like just wants to go right into a normal episode right now.
Yeah.
Like right after we're done here, just go into a regular episode.
Just because you want to talk about Odell Beckham Jr.
That would be fun. That would be fun. But there's like other things that I want to talk to you about that I'm excited about talking to you about.
Keep them holstered, man. Keep them holstered, man.
All right.
Because you don't know what's going to happen between now and later in the week that we can add to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this has been the Chris and Kyle Show. Check him out, like I said before, chrismichaelsdot.com. Read them scripts. Chris Michaelsdot on Instagram. Find me, Davinwell25, Twitter and Instagram. Find the show, The Chris and Kyle Show, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. That was weird.
Damn.
On all podcasting platforms, on Twitter at tcaks pod. There is a poll for your voting pleasure on Twitter and on Facebook. Send us to our couch to watch a movie. We are doing a Scorsese De Niro team-up poll to pick which one we do a spoiler episode between Raging Bull and Taxi Driver. And there are already some votes flying around, so we will see who is the victor. This has been the Chris and Kyle Show. Spoilers.
I'm gonna go ahead and bet.
Captain Marvel.
I'm gonna go ahead and bet that Taxi Driver wins.
Why are you going to bet that? Why are you always trying to influence the vote?
No, man.
You're always trying to influence the vote.
Am I?
Yes. Any input you put towards it has some sort of level of influence. Because now somebody out there is going to be like, I'm going to prove Chris wrong and I'm going to vote for Raging Bull. Just to like
maybe
be a dick or like be disruptive.
But
then some people are like, oh man, yeah, I got to make sure Chris is right.
But the problem is that like the poll can't exist in a vacuum.
What?
So you're saying that like why am I always trying to influence the poll, right? The poll can't exist without influence.
Sure it can.
By the mere sake of it being on our podcast and us talking about it?
No, dude, you're wrong.
No, dude.
If we just don't say anything except that the poll exists,
it's like
you are like a modern news network and I'm like the BBC.
It's like the idea of like filming a documentary by this, like the mere sake of there being a camera in the room, it changes the environment.
Yes, that's certainly true. But what you're saying about the poll is wrong. It can certainly exist in a vacuum. One, all we have to do is say there is a poll. Here is what's on it, like we are at BBC News Network, right? Here are the facts. We don't tell you our opinions on them. It's just the facts. Here's what exists. Two, the people who vote for the poll can't see the results of the poll until after they vote, so they can't be influenced in any way. What are you talking about, dog?
People can pick up the micro emotions in your voice when you say
Shut
Taxi Driver
up.
and or Raging Bull. Like so it influences.
There are no. I don't have an opinion. I want to see them both. So whoever wins, I win.
It's subliminal, man.
Nah, dog. You got on me in our very first month of polling ever because I was like, don't vote for Venom. And you were all like, don't do that. They're just going to do blah, blah, blah. And that's my impression of you. That's you. And now every poll, you're trying to influence one way or the other, trying to move the chess pieces around the chessboard.
I didn't realize that I'm fucking Josh Turner in your head. Baby, lock the door and turn the lights down low.
All right. Go vote for the poll for whatever you want to see an episode on, not what Chris wants.
I never said that I wanted.
We out.
Yeah, it's too weird.